Friends, thank you for being here today. What if I told you that while the world obsesses over military spending and nuclear arsenals, they're completely missing the most strategically positioned defense network on the planet? And what happens when everyone realizes that the security of North America, the Arctic, and global shipping routes is not controlled by the Pentagon or NATO headquarters, but by a country that most people think only exports maple syrup and politeness? Most people don't know that Canada controls the world's most strategic military geography. We are the guardians of NORAD, the brain center of North American air defense. Our Arctic territories provide the first line of defense against Russian and Chinese threats. We control the security of 3 ocean approaches that carry 40% of global maritime trade. But here's what should reshape every defense analysis. Our peaceful reputation is not weakness. It's the ultimate strategic camouflage. This isn't just about traditional military capabilities or defense spending. We're talking about controlling the geographic choke points, early warning systems, and diplomatic networks that determine global security outcomes. But here's the question that will define 21st century geopolitics. What happens when the world's most trusted nation also controls its most critical defense infrastructure? This is the story of how geography, technology, and strategic restraint are making Canada the invisible empire of global defense, and why the next security breakthrough might come not from a weapons manufacturer, but from the vast wilderness that serves as humanity's early warning system. Before we examine Canada's unique defense position, we need to understand how dramatically military strategy is shifting toward geography-based advantages, and how traditional measures of military power are becoming less relevant than strategic positioning and trusted partnerships. The numbers reveal how defense priorities are changing in the modern era. Global military spending exceeds $2.4 trillion annually. But most of this investment goes toward conventional weapon systems designed for 20th century conflicts. Meanwhile, the real security challenges of the 21st century, cyber warfare, space threats, climate-related conflicts, and hybrid warfare, require different capabilities entirely. Arctic security has become the fastest-growing military priority for major powers. Russia has invested over $35 billion in Arctic militarization since 2014, reopening Soviet-era bases and deploying hypersonic missiles. China has declared itself a near-Arctic state, despite being 1,400 kilometers from the Arctic Circle, building icebreakers and investing in Arctic research stations. But traditional military metrics miss the most important factor in Arctic security: geographic control. No amount of military spending can change the fact that Canada owns the geographic keys to Arctic security. Our Arctic archipelago provides natural surveillance positions over the entire polar region. Our territories extend deeper into the Arctic than any other nation's. Space-based threats are reshaping defense planning worldwide. Anti-satellite weapons, space debris, and communication disruptions could cripple modern military systems. But space defense requires ground-based infrastructure positioned at specific geographic locations. Canada's northern territories provide optimal positioning for space surveillance and communication systems. Cyber warfare represents another domain where geographic positioning provides advantages. Internet infrastructure, data centers, and communication networks require physical locations that are secure, stable, and connected to global networks. Canada's position provides ideal conditions for hosting critical cyber defense infrastructure while remaining protected from physical threats. The most significant shift is toward hybrid warfare that combines military, economic, and informational tactics. Success in hybrid conflicts depends more on credibility, partnerships, and soft power influence than traditional military capabilities. Countries that are trusted by multiple sides can mediate conflicts and build coalitions that conventional military powers cannot achieve. This evolution in security challenges plays directly to Canada's strategic advantages while neutralizing the conventional military superiority of larger powers. Now, let's examine what Canada actually controls in terms of strategic military geography and defense infrastructure. Our advantages go far beyond just having a large northern territory. We possess integrated defense capabilities that span multiple domains and provide unmatched strategic value. Let's start with NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, which represents one of the most successful defense partnerships in history. NORAD headquarters may be located in Colorado, but the system's effectiveness depends entirely on Canadian geography and cooperation. Canada provides the geographic foundation for NORAD's early warning capabilities. Our northern territories host radar installations and surveillance systems that monitor the polar approach routes that any attack on North America would likely use. The DBU line, Distant Early Warning, and its successor, the North Warning System, extends across Canadian territory from Alaska to Labrador. These radar systems don't just detect aircraft. They provide the first indication of ballistic missile launches, space debris, and atmospheric anomalies that could affect North American security. The data collected by Canadian installations is integrated into continental defense systems that protect both countries. But Canada's role in NORAD goes beyond just hosting radar installations. Canadian personnel staff NORAD command centers and participate in threat assessment and response decisions. This gives Canada direct influence over North American defense policies and ensures that Canadian interests are represented in continental security planning. The NORAD partnership demonstrates Canada's unique position in global defense networks. We are the only country other than the United States that participates as an equal partner in defending the North American continent. This partnership provides Canada with access to advanced military technologies and intelligence, while giving us influence over continental defense strategies. Our Arctic territories provide the second layer of strategic defense value. The Arctic Ocean is becoming increasingly important for global security as ice recedes and new shipping routes open. Canada's Arctic coastline provides natural observation points over these emerging routes and potential conflict areas. Russian military activities in the Arctic have intensified dramatically over the past decade. They have established new military bases, conducted aggressive military exercises, and deployed advanced weapon systems specifically designed for Arctic conditions. China's growing Arctic presence includes research stations, shipping investments, and diplomatic initiatives aimed at gaining influence in the region. Canada's response to these challenges leverages our geographic advantages rather than attempting to match Russian or Chinese military spending. Our Arctic sovereignty patrols, search and rescue capabilities, and Indigenous community partnerships provide persistent presence and awareness across the vast Arctic region. The Canadian Rangers program represents a uniquely effective approach to Arctic security. Rangers are local residents, many from Indigenous communities, who provide surveillance, reporting, and assistance across Canada's vast northern territories. This program creates a human security network that no amount of technology can replace. Our three-ocean position provides the third major component of strategic defense value. Canada's coastlines on the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic Oceans give us natural surveillance and control positions over the major maritime approaches to North America. The Atlantic approaches are critical for monitoring European and African maritime traffic. Canadian naval bases and surveillance systems provide early warning of potential threats approaching from the east. Our participation in NATO naval exercises and partnerships provides intelligence sharing that enhances security for the entire Atlantic Alliance. Pacific security requires monitoring of Asian maritime traffic and potential threats from across the Pacific. Canadian installations on the Pacific coast provide surveillance capabilities that complement U.S. systems while offering independent Canadian assessment of regional security developments. But it's the Arctic maritime domain that provides the most unique strategic value. As Arctic shipping routes open due to climate change, Canada's position controlling the Northwest Passage provides unmatched surveillance and control capabilities over traffic between the Atlantic and Pacific via Arctic routes. To understand how this translates into global influence, we need to look at how Canada's defense partnerships and peacekeeping capabilities create diplomatic leverage that conventional military powers cannot achieve. Canada's approach to international security emphasizes multilateral cooperation, peacekeeping, and conflict prevention rather than unilateral military intervention. This approach has created a global reputation for effectiveness and trustworthiness that provides unique diplomatic advantages. Our peacekeeping record speaks for itself. Canadian peacekeepers have participated in virtually every major UN peacekeeping operation since the concept was invented. Canadian diplomatic and military personnel have helped resolve conflicts in regions where great powers were unable to achieve progress through conventional means. The success rate of Canadian-led peacekeeping operations exceeds 90%, significantly higher than operations led by major military powers. This success comes from Canada's ability to work with all parties in conflicts, our reputation for neutrality, and our focus on sustainable peace rather than military victory. This peacekeeping expertise translates into influence in international security forums. When conflicts arise, other nations often look to Canada to provide mediation, monitoring, and peacekeeping services. This gives Canada influence over international security policies that far exceeds what our military spending would suggest. NATO provides another example of how Canada leverages strategic position for diplomatic influence. Despite having a relatively small military budget compared to major NATO powers, Canada provides unique capabilities that other alliance members cannot replicate. Our Arctic territories make Canada the only NATO member with extensive Arctic territory and capabilities. This gives Canada a special role in Alliance Arctic strategy and ensures that Canadian perspectives are central to NATO's evolving northern policies. Canadian military contributions to NATO operations consistently punch above our weight in terms of strategic impact. Canadian Special Forces, Arctic warfare expertise, and peacekeeping experience provide capabilities that complement the conventional military strengths of larger alliance members. The Five Eyes Intelligence Partnership demonstrates another dimension of Canadian defense influence. As one of only 5 members of this exclusive intelligence alliance, Canada has access to and influence over global intelligence assessments that shape security policies worldwide. Canadian intelligence capabilities focus on areas where we have natural advantages: Arctic monitoring, cybersecurity, and analysis of threats to democratic institutions. Our contributions to Five Eyes intelligence help shape how the alliance understands and responds to global security challenges. Perhaps most importantly, Canada's trusted status allows us to serve as intermediaries and mediators in international disputes where other powers are viewed with suspicion. This diplomatic role provides influence over conflict outcomes and international security policies. I want to pause here because this raises a fascinating question that I'd love to hear your thoughts on. As global conflicts become more complex and traditional military power becomes less decisive, should Canada focus more resources on expanding our diplomatic and peacekeeping capabilities, or should we invest in conventional military capabilities to match other powers? This choice will define Canada, its role in 21st century security, and could affect everything from Arctic sovereignty to our influence in international organizations. What's your perspective on Canada's optimal defense strategy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Beyond traditional defense roles, Canada is positioning itself to lead in emerging security technologies and domains that could reshape global defense capabilities for decades to come. Space-based defense systems represent one of the most promising frontiers for Canadian leadership. Our northern geography provides optimal positioning for space surveillance installations, satellite communication facilities, and space debris monitoring systems. The Canadian Space Agency has developed world-class capabilities in satellite technology, robotics, and space-based Earth observation. The Canadarm robotic systems have become essential components of international space operations, demonstrating Canadian expertise in space-based technologies. Space situational awareness is becoming critical for global security as more nations deploy military satellites and develop anti-satellite weapons. Canada's geographic position provides natural advantages for monitoring space activities and protecting space-based assets that modern military systems depend on. Quantum technologies represent another frontier where Canadian research institutions are making breakthrough contributions. Quantum communications could provide unbreakable encryption for military communications, while quantum sensors could detect previously undetectable threats. Canadian universities and research institutions are world leaders in quantum research. The Institute for Quantum Computing at the University of Waterloo, quantum research programs at the University of Toronto, and partnerships with international quantum research initiatives position Canada at the forefront of quantum technology development. Cybersecurity capabilities are increasingly important as military systems become more connected and dependent on digital infrastructure. Canada's stable political environment, advanced telecommunications infrastructure, and cybersecurity expertise make us an ideal location for hosting critical cyber defense capabilities. The Communications Security Establishment, CSE, provides cybersecurity services not just for Canadian government systems, but as part of international partnerships that protect allied cyber infrastructure. These capabilities are becoming more valuable as cyber threats become more sophisticated and persistent. Artificial intelligence applications in defense are advancing rapidly, with AI systems being developed for threat detection, intelligence analysis, and autonomous systems. Canadian AI research institutions are among the world's most advanced, providing foundation technologies that could reshape defense capabilities. The Vector Institute in Toronto, Mila in Montreal, and other Canadian AI research centers are developing applications that could revolutionize how military systems process information, detect threats, and coordinate responses. This research expertise positions Canada to influence how AI technologies are integrated into defense systems globally. Climate security represents an emerging domain where Canada's Arctic experience and climate research capabilities provide unique advantages. Climate change is creating new security challenges through resource conflicts, migration pressures, and environmental disasters. Canadian research institutions are world leaders in Arctic climate science, providing essential data and analysis for understanding how climate change affects global security. This expertise positions Canada to lead international efforts to address climate-related security challenges. However, maintaining Canada's defense leadership requires continued investment in technology development, international partnerships, and strategic capabilities that many Canadians don't fully appreciate. Defense technology development requires sustained research and development over decades. Unlike consumer technologies, defense systems must demonstrate reliability and effectiveness under extreme conditions before deployment. This requires patient investment and long-term strategic planning. Canadian defense research institutions need continued funding to maintain leadership in emerging technologies. Defense Research and Development Canada, university research programs, and partnerships with international research institutions provide the foundation for defense innovation. International partnerships are essential for developing and deploying advanced defense technologies. Defense systems increasingly require collaboration between multiple countries, sharing costs and expertise while building interoperable capabilities. Canada's trusted status and technological expertise make us valuable partners for international defense cooperation. Maintaining and expanding these partnerships requires diplomatic investment and continued demonstration of Canadian capabilities and reliability. Skilled workforce development is critical for maintaining defense technological leadership. Defense technologies require specialized expertise in engineering, computer science, physics, and other technical fields. Canada needs educational programs and immigration policies that can supply the skilled professionals needed for advanced defense industries. If you're finding this analysis of Canada's defense transformation valuable, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue producing in-depth analysis of the strategic and security trends that are reshaping our world. The evolution of global security challenges represents one of the most significant shifts in international relations since the end of the Cold War. Countries that achieve leadership in emerging security domains will influence global stability, conflict resolution, and defense policies for decades to come. Canada possesses strategic advantages in defense and security that are almost impossible for other countries to replicate. Our geographic position provides natural surveillance and control capabilities. Our diplomatic reputation enables mediation and peacekeeping roles. Our technological expertise contributes to emerging defense capabilities, but possessing these advantages is not the same as leveraging them strategically. Canada needs to make conscious decisions about how to develop our defense capabilities while maintaining our peaceful reputation and international credibility. The next decade will be critical for establishing our role in global security systems. The investments and policies we implement now will determine whether Canada becomes a major influence in 21st century security or simply provides geographic assets for other powers' defense strategies. The choices we make will affect not just our own security, but our ability to contribute to global peace and stability. Countries that fall behind in emerging security domains will find themselves increasingly dependent on others for protection and increasingly irrelevant in security decision-making. Friends, we're living through the emergence of new forms of security competition that favor strategic positioning, trusted relationships, and technological innovation over conventional military power. While the world's attention focuses on military spending and weapon systems, the real transformation is happening in the integration of geography, technology, and diplomacy. Canada has been dealt an exceptional hand in this security transformation. Our geography provides natural advantages that cannot be replicated. Our diplomatic reputation enables roles that other powers cannot perform. Our technological capabilities contribute to solutions that the world needs. The question isn't whether Canada can become a major power in global security. We already are, through our unique combination of capabilities and trusted relationships. The question is whether we'll have the vision and commitment to leverage these advantages strategically, building security capabilities that serve both Canadian interests and global stability. The radars are scanning, the partnerships are strengthening, and the future of global security is being determined by countries that combine geographic advantages with technological innovation and diplomatic credibility. Canada has the position to monitor global threats, the expertise to develop security solutions, and the trust to mediate international conflicts. What we do with these defense advantages will determine not just our own security, but our role in maintaining peace and stability in an increasingly complex and dangerous world. The defense revolution is here, and it favors countries that can combine strategic positioning with trusted leadership. Canada can either embrace this invisible empire or watch others fill the security vacuum we're uniquely positioned to occupy. Thank you for joining me for this exploration of Canada's defense empire. What aspects of our strategic advantages do you think are most important for global security? Should we focus more on technological capabilities or diplomatic influence? Share your insights below, and I'll see you in the next analysis of the forces shaping our security future.